Dear listeners, I welcome you to my channel. Leave your comments and impressions, I value your opinion. My hands are trembling as I fumble with the keys, desperate to unlock the front door. The video is still playing on my phone, the explicit sounds echoing through the silent house. I can't stop watching it, even though each second feels like a knife twisting in my gut. There she is, my wife, entangled with another man in our bed. I feel a surge of rage boiling inside me, a mixture of betrayal and humiliation. I slam the door behind me and march through the hallway, each step heavier than the last. I head straight to the living room where I know she'll be. The video pauses on the screen, the image of her flushed face and that man's smirk frozen in time. My vision blurs with red, but I force myself to stay focused. I need to keep control. The living room door swings open, and there she is, lounging on the couch with a book. She looks up, startled by my abrupt entrance. "David? What's wrong?" she asks, her voice laced with concern that now feels like a sick joke. I hold up the phone, my hand shaking. "What the hell is this, Linda?" Her eyes widen as she recognizes the video. The color drains from her face, and the book slips from her fingers, landing on the carpet with a soft thud. "David, I can explain," she starts, but I cut her off. "Explain?" I roar. "Explain how you ended up in our bed with another man. How long has this been going on?" She stands up, reaching out towards me, but I step back, my glare stopping her in her tracks. "Please, David, it was just a minor fling. It meant nothing, I swear. You have to forgive me, for the sake of the children at least." I laugh, a harsh, bitter sound. "Forgive you? You think I can just forgive and forget this?" I shake the phone at her. "If you don't give me a divorce, I'll make you very famous thanks to this video." Linda falls to her knees, tears streaming down her face. "No, please, you can't do that. Think about the children, David. They need both of us. Now you definitely won't see them," I say coldly, feeling a twisted sense of satisfaction at her misery. She sobs, clutching at my legs, but I pull away disgusted. "Get up," I command. "We're talking about this like adults. You owe me that much." Linda wipes her tears and stands, her shoulders hunched in defeat. "I'll do anything, David. Please, just don't take the children away from me." We sit down, the tension in the room thick enough to cut with a knife. "Start from the beginning," I say. "I want to know everything." She nods, taking a deep breath. "It started a few months ago. I met him at work. We were working late on a project, and one thing led to another." I listen, my anger simmering as she recounts her betrayal. Every detail feels like another betrayal, another reason to hate her. But beneath the fury, there's a part of me that's still in shock, still struggling to understand how the woman I loved could do this to me. When she finishes, I sit in silence, processing everything. "You'll pack your things and leave tonight," I finally say. "I'll talk to a lawyer tomorrow. We're done." "David, please," he whispers. "Don't do this. I love you." "You should have thought about that before you slept with him," I snap. "Now, get out of my sight." She stands, her legs shaking, and heads to our bedroom to pack. I watch her go, feeling a hollow emptiness inside. This is the woman I once thought I'd spend the rest of my life with, the mother of my children. How did it come to this? As she disappears up the stairs, I sink into the couch, my head in my hands. The house feels unbearably silent, the weight of what's just happened pressing down on me. I know there's no going back now. The life I knew is over, and all that's left is to pick up the pieces and figure out where to go from here. But even as I sit there, lost in thought, a nagging feeling tugs at the back of my mind. There's something about the video, something that doesn't add up. I replay it in my mind, trying to piece together the fragments of a puzzle I didn't even know existed. Little do I know, this revelation is just the beginning. The secrets and lies that are about to unravel will change everything, leading me down a path I never could have imagined. I sit on the couch for what feels like hours, my mind racing with 1,000 thoughts. Linda's sobs echo faintly from upstairs, but I block them out, focusing on the video still open on my phone. Something about it doesn't sit right. I hit play again, scrutinizing every second. The front door opens and slams shut, jolting me from my thoughts. Jake, my brother, strides in, a look of concern etched on his face. "David? I got your message. What's going on?" I pass him the phone without a word. His eyes widen as he watches the video, then narrow in anger. What the hell, man? I found this today. She's been cheating on me for months. I say, my voice flat. She's upstairs packing. I'm kicking her out tonight. Jake shakes his head, handing the phone back to me. I'm so sorry, Dave. That's brutal. But what's your plan now? I lean back, sighing heavily. Divorce. I can't live with her after this, but there's something off about the video. I can't put my finger on it. Jake frowns. Off how? Just watch it again. I hand him the phone, and he watches the video more closely this time. After a moment, he pauses it and looks up. Wait a second. Look at the background. Isn't that your old bedroom before you renovated it last year? I snatched the phone back, scrutinizing the scene. Jake's right. The wallpaper, the furniture, it's all from our old setup. My heart races as I realize what this means. This isn't recent, I whisper. This happened over a year ago. Jake's eyes widen, which means she's been lying for a lot longer than a few months. You need to confront her about this. I nod, standing up. You're right. Let's go. We head upstairs, finding Linda frantically throwing clothes into a suitcase. She looks up, her eyes red and puffy. David, please, let's talk about this. Don't do this in front of Jake. This isn't just about the affair, I say, holding up the phone. This video is from over a year ago. How long have you been lying to me? Linda's face pales, and she stammers. I don't know what you mean. Don't lie to me, I shout, my patience snapping. Tell me the truth now. She collapses onto the bed, her shoulders shaking with sobs. It started 2 years ago, she admits quietly. I met him at a conference. It was a mistake, but it just kept happening. Jake curses under his breath. 2 years? You've been lying to David for 2 years? Linda looks up, her eyes pleading. I'm sorry, I didn't know how to stop. I didn't want to lose everything. You've already lost everything, I say coldly. Get your stuff and get out. She nods, tears streaming down her face, and resumes packing. I turn to Jake. I need a lawyer. Can you help me find a good one? Jake nods. I know a guy. I'll call him first thing in the morning. Thanks, I say, grateful for his support. And I need you to stay here tonight. I don't want to be alone with her. You got it, man. I'm not going anywhere. Linda finishes packing and drags her suitcase to the front door. She pauses, looking back at me one last time. David, please. I know I don't deserve it, but please don't take the kids away from me. I don't respond. I just watch as she walks out the door, the sound of her footsteps echoing in the empty hallway. Once she's gone, Jake and I sit in the living room, the silence between us heavy. What now? He asks. I need to think, I reply. There's more to this, I can feel it. Jake looks at me, concern in his eyes. You sure you're okay? I nod, though I'm not sure if it's true. I'll be fine, thanks for being here. Anytime, bro, he says, clapping me on the shoulder. You're not alone in this. As the night drags on, I can't shake the feeling that this is just the tip of the iceberg. Linda's betrayal runs deeper than I thought, and I need to uncover the full truth. But for now, all I can do is try to get some rest and prepare for the battle ahead. The next morning, I wake up to the sound of my phone buzzing. It's a text from Jake. Got the lawyer. He's expecting your call. Here's his number. I thank him and dial the number, my heart pounding. The voice on the other end is calm and professional, and we set up a meeting for later that day. I spend the morning with my kids, trying to keep things as normal as possible. They sense something is wrong, but I reassure them that everything will be okay. As I watch them play, I feel a renewed determination. I won't let Linda's betrayal destroy our lives. Later, I meet with the lawyer, Mr. Harris, a sharp-eyed man in his 50s. He listens to my story, nodding thoughtfully. This is a serious situation, Mr. Thompson, but we'll make sure you get what you deserve. Thank you, I say, feeling a glimmer of hope. I just want what's best for my kids. We'll make sure of that, he assures me. Now let's talk about our next steps. As we discuss the legal proceedings, I realize that this is just the beginning. The road ahead will be long and difficult, but I'm ready to face whatever comes. Linda's betrayal has shattered my world, but I'll rebuild it, piece by piece. And I won't stop until I uncover the full truth. The battle lines are drawn, and I'm ready to fight. The next few days pass in a whirlwind of legal meetings and awkward conversations. Mr. Harris is thorough, explaining each step of the divorce proceedings in detail. I feel a strange mix of relief and dread as we start the process, knowing that I'm finally taking control but also stepping into the unknown. One evening, as I'm settling the kids into bed, my phone buzzes with a message from an unknown number. I open it, my heart skipping a beat when I see the content. A series of text exchanges between Linda and her lover, filled with intimate details and plans for future meetings. My hands shake as I scroll through, feeling the rage and betrayal wash over me again. I forward the messages to Jake immediately. His reply is swift. "We need to talk. Meet me at the bar." After ensuring the kids are asleep, I call a sitter and head out. The bar is dimly lit and nearly empty, a perfect setting for the conversation I know we're about to have. Jake is already there, nursing a beer at a corner table. "Hey," he says as I sit down. "This just keeps getting worse, doesn't it?" I nod, running a hand through my hair. I don't even know what to think anymore. These messages, they're planning another trip next month. She's not just cheating, she's practically living a double life. Jake takes a sip of his beer, his expression grim. "We need to find out who this guy is. If she's been seeing him for this long, he's not just some random fling. He might have more to do with this than we think." "How do we do that?" I ask, feeling a bit helpless. "Leave that to me," Jake says, a determined look in his eyes. "I have a friend who's good with this kind of stuff. We'll get to the bottom of it." The next morning, Jake calls me with an update. "My friend found something. The guy's name is Mark Williams. He works with Linda, but that's not the interesting part. Turns out he's been involved in some shady business dealings, fraud, embezzlement, you name it." My blood runs cold. "Are you saying Linda might be involved in that too?" "I don't know," Jake replies, "but it's worth looking into. If she's mixed up in his mess, it could explain a lot." I spend the rest of the day in a daze, trying to process everything. When Linda comes by to pick up some more of her things, I decide to confront her. "Linda, we need to talk," I say, blocking her path to the bedroom. She sighs, looking weary. "David, I don't want to fight. Can't we just get through this without more drama?" "This isn't about drama," I say, holding up my phone. "Who is Mark Williams?" Her face pales, and she looks away. "I told you, he's just a coworker." "Don't lie to me," I snap. "I know about his criminal activities. Are you involved in that too?" Her eyes widen in genuine shock. "What? No, of course not. I didn't know about any of that." "Then why are you still seeing him?" I demand. "Why were you planning another trip with him?" She looks down, tears forming in her eyes. I don't know. I thought I loved him, but it's all so messed up now. I never meant for any of this to happen." I take a deep breath, trying to keep my anger in check. "If you're not involved, you need to prove it. Tell me everything you know about him." She nods, wiping her eyes. "Okay. I'll tell you everything." As she begins to recount her relationship with Mark, I can see the regret and fear in her eyes. It's clear she's been swept up in something much bigger than she realized. She tells me about the secret meetings, the lies she had to tell to keep everything hidden, and her growing suspicions about Mark's activities. "I thought he was just a charming guy who made me feel special," she says, her voice breaking. "But now I see he was using me. I'm so sorry, David. I never wanted to hurt you or the kids." I don't know if I can believe her completely, but for now, I need her cooperation. "If you're serious about making things right, you'll help us bring him down." She nods, determination replacing the fear in her eyes. "I'll do whatever it takes. I want to fix this for our children's sake." With Linda's help, we start piecing together more information about Mark. Jake's friend digs deeper, uncovering a network of illicit activities that go far beyond a simple affair. It's clear Mark is dangerous, and we need to be careful. A few days later, Jake and I meet with Mr. Harris again to discuss our findings. "This changes things," he says, looking over the information we gathered. "If Linda is willing to testify against Mark, it could not only help your divorce case but also bring a criminal to justice." Linda agrees to cooperate, and we set up a plan with Mr. Harris and Jake's friend. We'll gather more evidence, build a case against Mark, and ensure Linda's safety throughout the process. The tension is palpable as we move forward, each step fraught with risk. Linda's cooperation is crucial, but so is protecting our children and ensuring that we all come out of this unscathed. One evening, as I'm putting the kids to bed, my daughter looks up at me with wide eyes. "Daddy, why is Mommy so sad?" I force a smile, trying to hide my own worry. Mommy and Daddy are just going through a tough time, sweetie. But we love you very much, and we'll always be here for you. She nods, hugging her stuffed animal tightly. I love you too, Daddy. As I kiss her goodnight, I feel a renewed sense of determination. I'll do whatever it takes to protect my family and uncover the full truth. Linda's betrayal was just the beginning, but now we're facing a much bigger battle. And I won't stop until we've won. The road ahead is long and uncertain, but with Jake by my side, and Linda's newfound resolve, I'm ready to face whatever comes our way. The fight for justice has just begun, and I'm prepared to see it through to the end. The days blur into weeks as we gather more evidence against Mark. Linda's cooperation is invaluable, and despite the tension between us, I start to see a genuine fear in her eyes. A fear for our children and for her own safety. The closer we get to exposing Mark's network, the more dangerous things become. One evening, Jake calls me urgently. David, we need to meet. There's something you need to see. Cring Linda. I grab Linda and head to Jake's apartment. He's pacing when we arrive, a laptop open on the coffee table. I found something big, he says, not bothering with pleasantries. You need to sit down. Linda and I exchange a worried glance and sit down. Jake turns the laptop towards us. My friend delved deeper into Mark's activities. Look at this. On the screen is a series of emails, financial transactions, and documents that link Mark not only to fraud and embezzlement, but also to a larger criminal organization. The scale of it is staggering. This isn't just about some affair or minor fraud, Jake says, his voice tense. Mark is involved with a major crime syndicate, and it gets worse. Look at this. He clicks on another document, and my heart stops. It's an email from Mark to an unknown recipient, discussing a plan to frame Linda as a scapegoat if things went south. She's the perfect cover, the email reads. If anything happens, she takes the fall. Linda gasps, her face going pale. He was going to use me all along. I was just a pawn. We need to get this to the authorities, I say, my mind racing. This changes everything. Jake nods. I've already contacted Mr. Harris. He's setting up a meeting with the police and a federal investigator. We're bringing them all of this. The next morning, we meet with the authorities, presenting our evidence. The investigator, Agent Miller, listens intently, nodding as he goes through the files. This is substantial, he says finally. We've been trying to nail this syndicate for years. Your cooperation could be crucial. Linda agrees to testify, under the condition of protection for her and the children. The authorities set up a safe house, and we move in, the tension easing slightly as we know we're being watched over. But Mark isn't one to go down without a fight. A few nights later, we hear a loud bang outside the safe house. Jake and I rush to the windows, seeing a group of men trying to break in. Stay back. I shove to Linda and the kids, grabbing the nearest weapon I can find, a heavy lamp. The men burst through the door, and chaos ensues. Jake and I fight them off, managing to hold our own despite the odds. But just as it seems like we're outnumbered, police sirens blare outside. The men scatter, some being caught by the arriving officers. Agent Miller rushes in, securing the area. Is everyone okay? We're fine, I say, catching my breath. But this proves Mark knows we're on to him. He won't stop. We'll increase protection, Miller assures us. And we're moving forward with the takedown. We got enough to arrest him and his associates. The following day, the news breaks. Mark Williams and several key members of the syndicate are arrested in a series of coordinated raids. Linda's testimony is crucial in linking them to their crimes, and she's granted immunity for her cooperation. As the dust settles, we start to rebuild our lives. The divorce is finalized, and Linda and I work out a custody arrangement for the children. Despite everything, we find a way to co-parent amicably, putting our children's needs first. One evening, as I'm tucking the kids into bed, my son looks up at me. Daddy, is everything going to be okay now? I smile, ruffling his hair. Yes, buddy, everything is going to be just fine. A few weeks later, Jake and I are sitting on my porch, beers in hand. I still can't believe everything that's happened, Jake says, shaking his head. It's like a movie. Yeah, I agree, taking a sip of my beer. But it's real. And we made it through. Just then, my phone buzzes. It's a message from an unknown number. I open it, my heart skipping a beat. You think it's over? Think again. I show the message to Jake, my mind racing. What do you think it means? Jake frowns. I don't know, but we need to be careful. This might not be as over as we thought. As we sit there, contemplating the future, I realize that our fight might not be over. The syndicate is large, and there are undoubtedly more players involved. But with Jake by my side, and the authorities on our case, I'm ready for whatever comes next. The road ahead is uncertain, but one thing is clear. I'll do whatever it takes to protect my family and uncover the full truth. The battle might not be over, but we're ready to face it together.